Hello, class. All right, we are going to do with review set 1, slide 5. First one is to simplify. If you remember, the word simplify means to make smaller. So when we are working with fractions, if we're making them bigger or smaller, if we're making them bigger, we multiply. If we're making them smaller, we divide. So we need to think what number could go into both 18 and 36. So you could just start by saying, okay, well, I know 2 does because they're both even numbers, or you could list the factors for both. So let's go ahead and list the factors. So for 18, we have 1 times 18, 2 times 9, 3 times 6. For 36, we have 1 times 36, 2 times 18, 3 times 12, 4 times 9, and 6 times 6. So what I like to do is find the greatest common factor. So with this, 18 goes into both, 9 goes into both, 2 goes into both, 3 goes into both, and 6 goes into both. Since 18 is kind of a hard number to divide by, we're going to go ahead and do 9 because that's the next highest. So because we're making them smaller, we're going to divide. Whatever I do to the bottom, I do to the top. 18 divided by 9 is 2. 36 divided by 9 is 4. We could stop there, which is 2/4, but we could also go to our smallest fraction. I know because they're both even that 2 goes into both. So whatever I do to the bottom, I do to the top, or whatever I do to the top, I do to the bottom, and it's 1/2. You could have simply just done 18, 36, and you could have done by 2 for each one, and that would have still been correct. But you should also know that 9/18, 9 is half of 18, so it would get you to your 1/2. I would have taken really a lot of different answers. Just getting to our smallest fraction, our smallest equivalent fraction is what we did. Okay, finding the difference. If you remember, when we find the difference on our board, our 2 F's are really, really dark like that, and it makes a subtraction sign. When we subtract, we always put the biggest number on top. So if I have 9, can I take away 2? I can, it's 7. If I have 5, can I take away 8? Nope, go next door and get 10 more. Instead of 6, I now have 5, and I bring a 10 over. 10 plus 5 is 15. Now if I have 15, can I take away 8? I can, which is 7. Go to the hundreds. If I have 5, can I take away 9? I can't, so I go next door, but they don't have any, so I have to go all the way to the 10,000s place. And I'm going to borrow from there. Now I can borrow and make that a 9 and make this a 15. 15 minus 9 is 6. 9 minus 6 is 3. And 2 minus nothing is 2. So my answer, read it with me, is 23,677. If you wanted to check your work, don't forget, you're going to take your difference and one of the numbers, and you're going to add them together and see if you get the number we started with. So if I do that, let's change the color, do red. I do this problem right here. 7 plus 2 is 9. 8 plus 7 is 15. Carry the 1, that made it 10. 10 plus 6 is 16. 9 plus 1 is 10. 2 plus 1 is 3. Gets me back to what I started with. So the difference is 23,677, but then we also checked. Okay, we are trying to find which problem equals 68 hundredths. Well, we cannot add denominators that are not the same, so we have to make them the same. So I know that I can make 10 into 100 by multiplying by 10, because 10 times 10 is 100. So whatever I do to the bottom, I do to the top. So now I have 60 hundredths plus 8 hundredths equals 68 hundredths. I could have also done this. Remember, if you add a 0 to the bottom, you can also add a 0 to the top. Could have just done that. So let's use that strategy down here. Whatever I do to the bottom, I do to the top, because that would just be multiplying by 10. 10 times 10 and 10 times 4. So 40 hundredths plus 4 hundredths equals 44 hundredths. So A is our answer, 68 hundredths. We're going to write this as a decimal. It is 3/10. Remember how we say tenths like that? We know, I'm going to do some place value real quick. So we have ones, tenths, hundredths, ones, tenths, hundredths. So we have 0 holes. There are no holes right here. 0 holes. So I'm going to put a 0 there. And I'm going to put a 3 in the tenths place. Now, I could write it like this, 0 and 3/10. If I wrote it like this would say 0 and 30 hundredths, because it's in the hundredths place. We're going to graph 7/10 and 1/10. So I'm going to use my highlighter. Here is 1/10. Here is 7/10. It's asking you which is closer to 1 whole. Well, 1, 2, 3 away. So 7/10 is closer to 1 whole. And that is all for today.